Hello and welcome to the newest episode of my podcast, entspannt. Today, with the South Island edition of the series exploring New Zealand through local stories. And we start with my Airbnb host in Motueka on the South Island, Claudia. Claudia is a German immigrant who lives now for more than 20 years in New Zealand. And with Claudia, I talked about the 4 questions. What's your favorite thing about New Zealand? What's your favorite place in Motueka or your home area? What's your favorite place in New Zealand outside your home area? And what's your advice for life given to a stranger based on your life experience? But I talked with Claudia a little bit about the environment and the economical situation in New Zealand itself. So, guys, enjoy the first interview. So, next up here on the South Island of New Zealand. So I'm welcoming my lovely host, Claudia. Claudia, it's a German. You have a German immigrant to New Zealand, but I call you Claudia.
Okay.
Claudia.
I'm Claudia in German, Claudia or Klotz in English. Yeah.
So it was a really wonderful stay here. So if it's a lot of bushes, of silence, of beautiful view to the ocean, to the Tasman Sea, Tasman Bay. Is it in Motueka? Yeah. So just tried it before. So I highly recommend your Airbnb.
Yes.
So if anyone goes to the South Island of New Zealand and wants to stay here at Motueka and search on Airbnb for Motueka or TUI Secret.
TUI Secret.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Claudia, I'm really appreciate that you joining me in this episode of the South Island edition of this podcast.
Welcome.
So 4 questions. I want to ask you. So the first question is, what's your favorite thing about New Zealand in general?
In general, it's a really wide question, yes, in general. So, I mean, I'm German, I'm living here for 22 years, and I came to New Zealand because of my husband.
Yeah.
We met overseas, but and I never really thought about New Zealand before. But what I really like in New Zealand is its nature. That's what we do. We live here in nature. Yeah. We are big into tramping and cycling and water sports, and that's the main thing we really love doing. We appreciate in this area, and especially this area has everything. You know, we just can, it's not far. We can just enjoy this kind of lifestyle, and what I really enjoy in New Zealand is the nature, the uniqueness, the wilderness, and it's not that civilized, over-civilized, especially, compared to the North Island. That's why I definitely enjoy the South Island much more. And, the people are really, really cool. It's really much more easier going, much more slow, and if you compare it with Germany. However, if you compare where we are living with Auckland or with Dunedin or Christchurch, it's different again, you know, because we choose to live not in a city. Yeah.
So I see that that a lot of people in New Zealand are really helpful and they're open for conversation. So it's not if you're kind of go to someone and want to talk to them and say, okay, what do you want from me? So they're more open.
It is different in towns because like when I don't go often to cities, but it's like, it's rush hour, you know, people just go. And maybe they don't have time for a chat, but even there in supermarkets or so, you have a chat, you know, you have a little bit, you can easy get connections, easy find help when you're on the roadside broke or whatever, you know, happens. It's people are really genuine, very helpful, very kind, very supportive, and it's still like this. It's I traveled to New Zealand 25 or 28 years ago, and we were invited all the time. You know, we hitchhiked and we were invited, and this happens. You get invited to homes. You know, it's people
cool.
are really open.
Yeah, that's cool. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and they have more. Yeah, they stop and engage and be present with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really relaxing.
Not everyone, but sure. But if you compare, then you meet those beautiful people. And characters, I like that as well. You have lots of characters here in New Zealand.
Especially here in Motueka.
Yes.
Yesterday I was in Maharau.
West Coast as well. You're going to the West Coast, you will see as well. Yeah.
So,
what happened was there in New Zealand? You said you went to the...
Maharau.
In Marahau, yeah. Marahau is the garden and Hau is the wind. So Mara is the wind Marahau. Garden. So it's very windy there. Yeah.
So
garden because of the sea. They have lots of fish. Yeah.
And this was kind of this backpacker atmosphere.
Yeah.
Little surfer guys. So kind of. Last time 5 years ago, I was in Takaka. Takaka.
In Golden Bay.
I always mispronounce it.
Takaka. Yeah.
And this is really kind of, there's some like hippie-like people, aren't there?
It's a very good mix. So there are, in Golden Bay, there are lots of alternative people and also lots of conservative people. Yeah. So it's both there. And that's those polarities you feel as well when you live there. Yeah. So So it's really nice. I mean, you're now here in a high tourist season. Yeah, it's very different in winter time, or very different from April onwards. So now we have 10 times more people than usual, or more than that. I don't know, 20, 100 times more people. It feels like it, but it's Golden Bay is more alternative, and it's really. I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful over there. Yeah. It's a bit away, you know. You have to go over the hill, or you go around the Abel Tasman. So and it's beautiful nature, really stunning nature over there, and cute cafes and markets, and people are. That's the thing in New Zealand. People are more. I'm East German, so people are more. They can do it themselves, you know. They have more this pioneer spirit, like on the West Coast, pioneering spirit, and as well in those areas where there was years ago no supermarket or no big warehouses, so you have to help yourself. You have to help your neighbor, and you have to help yourself, and the community has to help themselves. So they are really ingenuine and very ingenious and very creative, and trying to make ends meet with not much finance, but skill and talent and cooperation.
That's good insight. Didn't hear that before.
Yes. So cool. Finance is not easy here for many people. Yeah. Finance is another thing. You just, if you don't have the right job in town. So it's then lots of people are struggling here and struggling financially. Yeah. Okay. And you can. It's not, the winter is not that hard. You can live, but it's another political issue.
Yeah, but it's the side of New Zealand.
You don't come here for the money.
Yeah, you don't hear that very often. So this real insight into people are struggling financially, even in towns when it's not Auckland or the big cities, I think, where the economy is situated. So, sad to hear, but
it's lots. It's not only in big towns. It's in every little town. Yeah, little towns especially as well. When there's no economy, you know, and people are, trying to make a living, it's the prices are higher and higher, you know, petrol and the food and rent and housing. Housing is a huge issue. So going political is not the best. Yeah. And when I'm saying being political now, you know, when you look, everything is nice and green and beautiful, nature, it's not. There are lots of issues. New Zealand is not green.
Okay,
that's as green as you think. It is. Okay, but when you see it just on the surface and enjoy it, it's beautiful. It is also amazing. Yes.
So what's your favorite place then here in Motueka, or in your favorite place to be here? Is it your home, or is it another place here in your home area?
My home area?
Yeah.
I have lots of places. I mean, I love to be at home when I can be at home. So this time, in holiday time, is nice. So because I love my garden, we grow our own food and stuff like that. So I love that, and I love the peacefulness here. Yeah. The birds and animals. It's just beautiful. And I love to be in the bush hiking. I love to be on the sea. I do wakaama as a Maori. Wakaama is a Maori sport, but it's not necessarily a specific sport. It's an outrigger kayak. And so I do that. I love cycling. There are many beautiful places. Yeah, I like to go on Mount Te Ao Wharepapa, Mount Arthur. It's the top there. Yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah, I just love to be away. And like away, I wouldn't go now to the Abel Tasman because it's full ass. Lots of people there. But I love to be in the early morning on the water, or
it's
hiking
cool.
on Mount Arthur or something like that. Yeah.
So, what would be your favorite place outside your home area when you think about New Zealand in general? So, do you have a spot where you think, "Oh, that was really beautiful"? So, I would love going there again, or I would recommend that to people going there.
Yeah. Oh, there are many. It's a hard question. There are many.
I know.
I love the West Coast because it's so lush. I love the bush there.
Yeah.
It's just all along the West Coast. It's just the bush is just wow, magic. And there's a Pancake Rocks with a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And before the Pancakes Rock, there's a river, and you can do this walk for 5 days. But you don't need to. You can just walk in for 1 or 2 hours and back, and it's beautiful. It's all the nikau palms and it's just lush and it's beautiful river water, the clear water, and you can kayak on that as well. So it's really nice. But as well, Arthur's Pass is beautiful, and I love the area from Wanaka.
Yeah,
as well. Wanaka Lake Hawea. It's beautiful if there are not too many people. It's down. It's beautiful
I
there.
heard from other hosts that Wanaka is quite. So when you often people go to Queenstown,
Queenstown is beautiful, but it's just so.
It's like a tourist.
Busy. It's like always reminds me of Garmisch-Partenkirchen.
But it's a really good comparison. Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's and that's how it is. It's you have this amazing natural environments, and sure it attracts tourists, and then it becomes too big.
Yeah,
and then people just get money hungry and want to do more, and then you don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah.
Nature is beautiful.
And I've heard that Wanaka, it's like it's kind of 1 hour to drive, 1.5 hours to drive from Queenstown or to Queenstown. Yeah. It's kind of a new spot for people. Maybe we shouldn't say that too much or too loud.
Yeah, no. It's already expanding. It's already. I would not. Yeah, maybe live in Wanaka, but around the area, But that's how it goes, That's how it goes. All people don't want anymore, and then they want to live more close to it.
Yeah.
And then it gets more developed, around, and then it will become a widespread city.
Yeah.
It's people, yeah.
Like
we need to be more aware of what we are doing with our environment, to make it last as well for our children and next generations. So that's the awareness. People are just often too short-thinking.
Yeah,
short-term thinking.
So I was visiting, I think, Bushy Park in Wanganui, or Wanganui, and they had like an information center where you can see how much % of the wood or the native forest in New Zealand are still there compared to, I think, before the Polynesian people arrived here. So it was kind of only 5% or so. 10%. So it's compared to Germany, compared to maybe Europe, it's a vast nature here. But compared to what it was, I think before the immigrants and I think the British people came here. So it's kind of sad to see. But that's like people, I think.
The first settlers they chopped lots of things down to build houses, build farms, and the Maoris did with their canoes, but there were not that many. The more people, the less nature, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that's how it is. Yeah.
Talking about people, last question: what would be your advice for life to a stranger or to a young person, given your life experience? That's a big one, I know.
At the moment right now, I would say be open-minded and connect with your heart.
That's cool. Yeah. It's heartwarming.
And enjoy, experience life on a deeper level. Really experience life on a deeper level from person to person. Connect with your heart, because every person has something to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every area has something to give. Germany is
that's
beautiful
fine.
too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful places in the world.
Yes.
I think New Zealand is the most beautiful of all, but yeah.
No. It's different, yeah, and you see it deeper. Yeah,
but it's a good
beautiful.
advice.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the mantra for people for 25. Would be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be really amazing. Yeah, to connect more with your heart, to really see each other and be present with each other.
Yeah.
And I think lots of issues don't need to appear.
Claudia, thank you very much for the interview, for staying here in your little gem on the hill. So it was kind of strange experience going uphill with my with my car. But I managed it.
Yeah, EVs or high. What was your car? High.
It was like a hybrid.
Hybrid. They don't make it yet. No.
So thank you very much, and all the best to you.
And
all the best to Wayne with his food poisoning.
Thank you.
So thanks.
And thank you for staying with us. And and have a great journey down the West Coast and wherever you go.
Thanks. We recommend you. Definitely.
Good adventure.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And so, guys, this was the first interview with Claudia. And anybody who wants to stay in New Zealand on the South Island near Abel Tasman National Park, I can highly recommend Claudia and her husband Wayne's Airbnb. Tui's Secret, it's on the hill with a great view onto Motueka and the Tasman Bay, and it's a special one. So there is just a little bit of electricity given by solar panels. It's a beautiful and cozy hut, have loo with a view, and an outdoor bath, an outdoor shower. So anybody who wants a little bit of glamping, this is the right stay for you. But for all others who wants to escape reality or the everyday tasks or the everyday stress, give Tui's Secret a shot. The link is in the description. And my next host who joined me in this episode was Gary from Queenstown. And yes, guys, we start with Gary. Enjoy. So, next stop for me here in the south of New Zealand. I'm here in Queenstown, and my next interview partner is Gary. Hello, Gary.
Hello. How are you, Jane?
I'm great. So I just arrived here in Queenstown, I think 2 hours ago, in your studio, and you have this beautiful view of Queenstown from what's it, Calvin Heights.
Yes.
Yeah. So I knew that they filmed a part of a lot of the rings, I think.
Up Deer Park Heights they had. Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just nice to be outside of town because it's like a touristy town.
Yes.
And so I really appreciate that you're sitting with me for an interview. And I would ask you the first question now. What's your favorite thing about New Zealand?
The people, of course. Yeah, the people.
Yeah.
The tangata whenua, it's called. People, yeah.
Yeah.
And the friendliness of people, the culture.
Yeah.
And that's, it's much the same no matter wherever you go.
Yeah.
North or South Island. Yeah.
Yeah. Can totally agree.
Yeah.
So that's what I always think when this is my second time here in New Zealand. They're helping each other and they're so friendly.
Yeah.
Can join everyone for a quick chat. So it's really nice. Yeah.
You always get the bad ones and the good ones. So.
Yeah, but it's everywhere the same.
Yeah,
so
more good ones.
Yeah, definitely more good ones here in New Zealand. What's your favorite spot in Queenstown where you live? So in the area of Queenstown, which is the favorite spot do you have when going outside?
Oh, okay. Calvin Heights is unique because it gets sun, the first sun and the last sun.
Yeah.
And it's out of the thing, and there's just down by the lakefront, there's a couple of nice wee spots with a bench, and it's just surreal. Sit there, you got the water lashing and the sun, and it's just so peaceful. And it's only 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
So that's my favourite spot to sit and read, and
That's cool.
go down there. We can take a barbecue there if we wish for food, and it's good.
That's nice. Since when do you live here in Queenstown or in Calvin Heights?
We built this house here in 2008.
2008. Okay.
We built the wee cottage next door first.
Yeah.
And then we built this. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really nice.
We have 4 children and 10 grandchildren.
Yeah. Okay. That's huge.
This is ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just one question of mine, just lasted, I think, maybe. Do you know what I love when I'm sitting outside on the porch or on the balcony? I love that the airplanes are taking off and landing. So when I went down from the hill, I think forgot the name. Was this ski area at the top?
Oh, the Cadrona.
Yeah, Cadrona.
Yeah.
So I went uphill, and then it was this lookout, and I just saw Air New Zealand, like an Airbus landing. And then, okay, I wait here, and I can film the next one. And there was no next one, so okay, no, I'm 7 hours on the road.
No.
Yeah, but I think two airplanes or 3 airplanes started just last hours, and just the airplane geeking. That's really
about
cool.
15 airplanes a day landing and taking off here.
Yeah, it's not too much, but it's cool. Just I did a simulator ride. So I did an airplane simulator in April last year, and we could choose some airports to land. And one of my favorite airports to land was in Queenstown because you have to fly in beneath the Remarkables and fly in the valley, and it was just quite cool but difficult. I think. Yeah.
They gave a special rating.
Yeah.
The pilots to land here.
Yeah.
That road that you're on for the lookout is actually the highest public sealed road in New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah, where you sitting? Yeah, it was built in 1868, and it's just been tar sealed in the last 10 years. So it's the highest public sealed road.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's the first area to get snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people camp up there. Use camper vans, and they can't allowed to camp. They can camp up there.
Okay, yeah. So that's cool. That's maybe a good advice for some people who want to go with camper van.
Yes.
So just next airplane was starting now. So maybe I hope it's not too loud for the people who listen. So then, when you're not in Queenstown, your home area, what's your favorite place in New Zealand outside of your town? So it could be on the south or it could be in the north island.
I like Dunedin because I've got my daughter lives there with 3 grandchildren, and I was born and went to school in Dunedin. So Dunedin is very Scottish, and a lot of architecture, a lot of museums, old buildings. It's a lovely place.
Yeah.
And it's not that bustled either, so it's good. Dunedin and Invercargill are both good, Invercargill's south.
Yeah.
It's all flat, but I lived there for 30 years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was good.
It's just about the visiting.
Invercargill,
Just about the visiting Dunedin.
Are you going to?
Yeah, in 1 week. So next week, I think 2 nights. So
are you going to Invercargill? No.
Nah. No. When I come from Tianau to Dunedin and then go into Christchurch and to Kaikoura and then to Christchurch again to get to Auckland. But
roundabout way, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it last week, I think, or I said it last week. It's not my last visit in New Zealand, so I have something to do on both islands. So yeah. So, but it would be both on the south. Do you have a favorite spot on the north?
North, I quite like Wellington.
Yeah.
It's the capital, and it's got a Te Papa, which is the National Museum.
Yep.
A seaport, and I worked in the prison service for a number of years, and I used to go up there and work in the college there, train there. So I spent, and also my past life, I was a mechanic, so I also went up there when I was 18 and 19 for apprenticeship courses. So
yeah, nice.
It's quite nice, Upper Hutt, Lower Hutt. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a friendly city. So it's a like a relaxed city, a relaxed atmosphere, I think.
Yes.
So when you compare it to Auckland, of course, but Auckland is so huge with this 1.5 million.
Terrible place. Yeah.
And Wellington is really friendly, really relaxed. So I spent my New Year's Eve there on the waterfront.
Whereabouts?
In Wellington.
Wellington. Yeah. Okay.
So, but they did some live music at the waterfront and some fireworks. Of course. And it was cool. It was really relaxed. There was a cool atmosphere to be there.
Yeah. No, it's quite nice.
So,
yeah.
So, last question. What would be your advice for life given to a stranger or young person based on your life experience?
I've got plenty of life experiences. I'm 73, so
you don't. Oh, you don't look like that.
Did I?
Yeah. So you look very much younger.
Oh, good. So, I think the best advice is to always listen to somebody that is older than you, because they've actually had it happen to them or done it, and experienced the good things and bad things. So, listen to older people.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. So I said I've got 3 sons in a business, and they listen now.
Yeah.
But that's the most important thing, and also treat others how you want to be treated yourself.
Yeah, that's important.
That's a good way of life. If you want to treat people kind, you expect to be treated kind yourself. So yeah. That's 2 things.
Yeah, but that's 2 advices. That's nice. So thank you very much. That was really important. This two advice which you give. So now our listeners can now go to your favorite spots. I hope not that much. So it's overcrowded. And thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Just
thank you for staying with us in a couple of nights.
So I can. Everyone who wants to come to New Queenstown, I can really recommend your
It's
studio.
always quite busy, so
so book in advance. So I was lucky because I booked in May or in June, I think. So if you want to come in December, then book with Gary at May or June. So in half a year in advance. And it's really lovely. It's quiet. You have like some, what's this? These are like not cows. It's like cattle or
they're cows.
Those are cows. Yeah. Okay, yeah. A beautiful view and really quiet here. And the good thing is you can go by water taxi into Queenstown CBD.
And
doesn't have
bus
to.
Service is good.
Yeah, perfect.
And you can hire a bike, and we have snow a metre deep on the deck here.
Really?
The snow outside will be a metre deep.
Yeah.
In ski season for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I come for in winter.
It's lovely in winter.
So,
you get days like this in winter.
Yeah. Right. So it's when you're in Germany, you have then in June it's like warm, and you have to cut that off to go into the winter in the winter season. So maybe I think about it, because using the winter would be also really beautiful. So
this will snow right down.
Yeah, so maybe the next time after next time. So thank you very much for joining me, Gary, and
good luck.
Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay.
So this was the interview with Gary. And anybody who wants to spend lovely days in Queenstown for some action or cruises on Lake Wakatipu, for some hikings, or just enjoying some restaurants, cafes, or a Ferg burger in Queenstown Center, should have a look at the link in the description to Gary's Airbnb at Calvin Heights. Just a really calm and silent surrounding. You have a beautiful view onto Queenstown Hill, and you can get by water taxi to Queenstown City Center and back. So a really cozy studio with a lot of space, and was really great to have my stay there in Queenstown. So guys, just take a look. And now we're heading on to the last interview for this episode, which I did with Marie in Christchurch. With Marie, I not only talked about or just asked for questions, but we talked about the earthquake in 2011, which was quite the 9/11 of Christchurch back then, and at the moment a lot of wildfire in LA is raging, and that's the 9/11 of LA. And so just ask Marie about the aftermath and the hope which Christchurch had back then after the earthquake. So guys, enjoy the last interview. So next stop here in Christchurch. My journey is slowly coming to an ending. So it's one of the last places, beautiful places on the South Island, and I'm sitting with my lovely host Marie here in Christchurch. Hi Marie.
Hi.
So
Hi,
really
hi Jan.
I really appreciate that you're joining me in this episode, and I think we talked about Christchurch in New Zealand. It's before the interview
Yes.
a little bit, and just starting direct with the first question. I think.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing about New Zealand? So it can be various things.
Yeah, I can have various things. Yeah. Okay. I love the diversity. Of the nature throughout New Zealand, the accessibility to the sea and the lakes, the fact that there aren't that many people around, and you can have a lot of space to yourself. I really love that. I love the weather. It's quite inclement weather, which it changes quite a lot, but it's not too hot and it really isn't too cold. So, yeah, it's a great country.
Yeah. So even today, I think we have lovely weather outside, sunny weather.
Yeah,
but
it's really beautiful.
It's kind of 20
today.
degrees, but you can just go outside with a t-shirt, and it's
yes. But sometimes you do get the easterly winds here because we're so close to the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Just everyone who's listening to this podcast, just we're sitting here on the table, living room or dining room, and just see outside the window and see the Brighton New Pier.
Yes, you can see the Brighton Pier.
And it's really beautiful because you have a really overwhelming overview over Christchurch.
That's right, and you can see on a clear day, it's quite murky at the moment over the mountains, but you can see all the mountains.
Yeah.
And when the sun sets, you can see the contours of the mountains.
Ooh, that's nice.
And the mountains even stretch right round to Kaikoura. Have you been to Kaikoura?
I'm going there after Christchurch.
Yeah. Well, Kaikoura Mountain, Kaikoura as they call it.
Yeah.
It's straight out there.
Okay. Just thought about it when I just chilled on the balcony and then saw over the bay that might have been Kaikoura.
Yes, it is.
It must be.
Yeah. Well, we're actually on the peninsula.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the bit that sort of juts out on the South Island.
So it's called it's Mount.
This is Banks Peninsula, and we are Mount Pleasant.
Pleasant, yeah. So it's really nice. So people who are listening to our podcast could be jealous of this overview. So I am, of course. So it's so we have said it's a really cool or beautiful country with lots of different areas and places. Good weather, nice people, and few people.
Yeah.
So comparing to other countries.
Yeah, I mean, I've travelled quite a lot, and I find that people here, they are quite friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite open. Yeah, which we are and we like.
Yeah. So some countries could see New Zealand as a role model in that. Some societies.
Yeah.
Next question would be, what's your favorite place here in Christchurch or in your the home area of Christchurch? Do you have a special place to be where you say, wow, that's my favorite one?
Well, the favourite city obviously is Christchurch. I was born in Christchurch. I have lived away from here for 5 years, but I love the city because I love the river flowing through the city.
Yeah.
I like it that it's quite a simple structure in the city. It's easy to find your way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course we've got the beaches. We live near the beach. Lots of cafes and parks. Lots of parks in Christchurch. Great walks. That's my favourite part.
And you have the gondola, I think.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, the gondola's just up the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we can actually walk up the hill from here to the gondola.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's lots of, being on the peninsula, it's very close to a lot of points around. Yeah. And it's just a bit like, when you go up, we've been up on a helicopter to Mount Cook, Fox Glacier, which is fabulous. And it's amazing how close things actually are when you're actually on the top of the hill. Yeah. Things aren't that far away really at all. So we're in close proximity to a lot of beautiful bays and areas once you get up and over the hill.
Yeah. So that means I don't have to pay for the gondola. I just can walk up the hill.
Well, you can. It's quite a good walk.
Yeah.
But you could walk up there.
Yeah, just thinking about it because like hiking or walking. So
yeah, well, I mean, it might be in that walk book that you've got in your room there, but you can you drive up the back here and then walk to the gondola from there. You can see it, but it's also worth the trip too on the gondola because you get the beautiful view of Christchurch.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about that tomorrow. So
good.
Maybe going with the gondola. Because first time I didn't do that. First time just stayed in the city center and just walked around and went to New Brighton Pier. I think the sunset should be quite beautiful.
That's right. You'll see it from the pier. The sunrise, from April to September, you can see the sun rise straight out the window here.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it just rises a little bit further around. Yeah. But actually, you can walk up a path beside the gondola to the top, bridle path.
Yeah.
And that's the path that the pioneers actually walked when they first came to Christchurch.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so you can
that's
do
cool.
that.
Yeah. So maybe I'll give it a shot tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's right beside the gondola.
Yeah. That's a good cue tip. So just ask before the interview whether I can ask you about the earthquake in 2011. Just read in the news about the LA wildfires who are raging at the moment, and they call it the 9/11 moment of LA, like it was 9/11 for New York, of course. And I think of the earthquake 2011 like the 9/11 moment for Christchurch because it was so massive, and we just talked about it before the interview. So what was your experience of that day, and how can a city overcome such a trauma? Because it was a trauma, I think, and then you still can see the aftermath of the earthquake right now.
Yes. Well, actually, when it actually happened, I was working then. I'm currently retired, and I had a presentation to do, and I set up for 100 people to come to this presentation, and it was at 1 o'clock. So the earthquake happened. I think it was about 10 to 1, and so no one had arrived, fortunately, and it happened, and I was at work. I hopped under the table. As you do. Yeah. And it shook for quite a while. And then, of course, my first thought then was family. So I contacted John, my husband, who was at home at the time, and the house was still in one piece, but a lot of the parts of it had broken. Everything in the house had fallen over and broken. And then I attempted to drive home, but I couldn't because of the liquefaction. And the broken roads, so I had to turn around and go back and spend the night in my parents-in-law's place, at the place of where I worked. So when I eventually could come home, which was obviously the next day, and there were houses around us that were uninhabitable. We had to get out of our house for 12 weeks while it was being repaired. And it astounded me how once you get over the shock, everyone just gets back into living, a normal life, and thinking about rebuilding, and moving forward,
So it's hopeful to hear, because I think people in LA thinking about the same first the shock because it's happened so fast. It's like, it's a fire, but it's like raging with such a speed to a house, like changing wind and changing the direction when the fire goes, and it's like maybe not as maybe like sudden like the earthquake, because earthquake comes out of nowhere and just demolish anything what's not standing that
and I
tall.
think a big lesson for me out of the earthquake was that stuff is not that important.
Yeah.
You know, because all stuff got broken.
Yeah.
We're still alive. We're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't replace a lot of stuff because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I think people, friends, family.
Yeah. Are very important.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just making sure that all your family's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this, like small insight to the earthquake, like 2011. So if listeners come to Christchurch, they will still see some aftermath, like the cathedral was going to rebuild, or like we talked about the red areas, like where no one can build any houses anymore. So it's quite, sort of say, remarkable how strong Mother Nature is, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. We are at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that some people left New Zealand after the earthquake, but then they went to places like Australia and they had floods. And so I think wherever you go, there's always a natural disaster could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Australia, you can get eaten by a crocodile.
Yes, you can.
Or,
bitten
like
by a snake or a spider or something like that.
So it doesn't happen here?
No, we don't.
In New Zealand. So at least it's a safe country in this respect. So
yeah. Oh no, it really. I mean, it is a safe country, and at the end of the day, I think now that we've had the earthquakes, we just know that we have to be prepared in case another one happened, just so that you could look after yourself as far as food and water and things like that. So I think people are more conscious now of having a safety kit.
Yeah. So when we broaden like the view to New Zealand in general, so what's your favorite place in New Zealand, or so on both islands, so outside your home area, like of Christchurch? Is there a favorite spot where you want to go?
Well, I love to go to Wanaka. I think Wanaka is a beautiful place. Have you been to Wanaka?
Unfortunately not. So I did stay at Queenstown one more time, but next time when I come to South Island, I will definitely go to Wanaka because some people now recommended me Wanaka.
Yeah, Wanaka's lovely. I mean, they've got a beautiful lake. You can swim in the lake.
Yeah. And
we've biked around it. They have a great music festival every year.
Is it summer or
in summer? Gibson Valley, which we normally go to with friends. However, we've got various things happening this year. We're not.
Yeah.
But that's there's a lot happening in Wanaka. It's beautiful. There's vineyards around there. There's it's just a beautiful place in itself. Yeah, biking and walking.
Yeah. I drove past Lake Wanaka. When I just started at the west coast. Like I had an 8-hour ride from Barrytown to Queenstown. It was quite kind of it was a really nice ride. It was a long ride. Just went past Lake Wanaka. It was a beautiful day. It was beautiful. Like blue water, like a blue lake. It was really cool.
It is lovely. Yeah. And I think probably the North Island, where my son lives in Helensville, is really beautiful.
Oh, where's that?
Helensville. It's west of Auckland.
Yeah.
And he lives in a place called Kaupapa.
Yeah.
And he's got beautiful wetlands up there, just absolutely beautiful. And they've just finished a program, not my son, but an organisation who puts out a magazine called Forest and Bird. They are a conservation organisation, and they've just bred and released a lot of endangered kiwis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so they are making their way. My son's become part of the program, and they're making their way to his property. Some of them are. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. He's very much into birds.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. It's funny because a lot of people say Auckland is so horrible, it's too much people and it's too crowded and the traffic jams but I think Auckland is kind of underrated because there's really beautiful areas if you go outside the center.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the city myself.
Yeah.
It's so fragmented and very hard to get around, and it's just, a lot of it's it's actually much nicer out in the country. Yeah. As soon as you get out of the city, it's like any country, isn't it? Once you get out of the centre of the city and you get into the real land, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, I know that from Sukup, my hometown. It's the same. So people say, it's awful, but if they're going outside of the city, like on the outer layers to the forest, it's beautiful. And,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
So last question. Talked about people, we talked about nature, and like earthquakes and like natural disasters. You have a lot of life experience. What would be your advice for life given to a stranger or young person based on your life experience? Do you have like a saying or like some experience to say, okay, I have to share that?
I would just say, I think it's really important to be a good person, loving yourself and your family, and be kind to others, enjoy and explore the world.
That's cool.
That's my advice.
Yeah. So love yourself is really a good...
I think that's really important. I think
tip,
it's a constant, not so much a battle, but I think it's I think for everyone, because of what happens around us, and we get so influenced by what's happening in the world, that it's really important to look after yourself, to read and to get the knowledge to be able to cope with the world. Yeah.
It's funny. So I stayed 4 weeks now on my own here in New Zealand, and just thought about life and how can I just transfer all this cool and relaxed attitude to Germany, and sometimes so you're so far away from the world, and if you're not reading the news or like just get so stressed or hyped by bad news, it can be really relaxing. So it's kind of a thing of self-love to say, okay, just concentrate on the things you can influence.
Yeah, no, that's
and
so true.
On the people who are around you.
Yeah. And I think you get to a stage in your life too where you want to give back.
Yeah.
And to help the people that have been influenced or put into a difficult situation because of what's happening around them.
Yeah.
I think it's good to be able to get to that stage in your life where you can give back.
Yeah. Helping other people. That's really
really important.
Yeah. I think and it was not an interview with like a host, but it was a host whom I talked to about this topic, and say everything you do in life is to help people. So if you want to sell products or you invent products,
it's all people.
It's people. So you have a solution for people. Or if you maybe want to get happier,
do something for someone else.
So you get it back in return, and I think that's so powerful to say, love yourself and help other people.
Yes, it is.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and you have to do that first to be able to love someone else, don't you? Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah.
So I have to say thank you very much
You're welcome. It's been
for
a
joining me
in
the podcast, and
I wish you all the best, Jan.
Thank you very much, and just enjoy my stay now for next 2 days in Christchurch.
Great.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And this was the last interview for this episode with Marie in Christchurch. And I know, guys, I just recommended every Airbnb host in New Zealand so far, and this will be no exception. If you guys want to stay in Christchurch for a few days, just give Mount Pleasant Views, the Airbnb offered by Marie, a shot. You will find the link in the description. If you book here, you will have a calm surrounding. You will have just a really beautiful view onto Christchurch, the New Brighton Pier, the sea. You can do some hiking. The gondola is not far away. You can go by bus in the city center, just a 10-minute drive with a car. You can go surfing or go into the beach. So it's really cool place to be here in New Zealand. So, and now we're at the end of this episode. Just hope you enjoyed all the interviews, and just don't forget to follow the podcast and to leave some reviews or commentary, and hope you tune in to next week's last episode of the series Exploring New Zealand Through Local Stories. So thanks for listening, guys, and just say bye-bye to next week.